Hello, it's Natalie with Crochet by NatalieLucille, and today we are going to make these twisted knitted head wraps. You can make them bulky or not, just however you want to make them. They're super easy on the Addi knitting machine, and I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to have this done in less than an hour. So go ahead and get your Addi knitting machine out. And today I'm using this ice yarn, which is 70% wool and 30% acrylic. And I'm going to start out using my waste yarn. Make sure your lever is down so it goes in a circular motion and your yarn carriage is closed. I got to get to my black starting needles. We're going to cast on. And you're going to cast on first by putting your tail in the center and go from the right to the left in the front and kind of crank it just so it grabs the yarn, and go in the back and then in the front and keep cranking in the back, front, back, front, all the way around. You want to go slow to make sure that the yarn catches on the needles. You don't want any drop stitches because you're going to be saying some colorful words. If not. So just keep going back and forth to get your cast on. And then once you get to the black needle, open your carriage to put your yarn in and through the hole to hold the tension. And now you're ready to work 7 rounds of the waste yarn. So make sure whatever waste yarn you do use is just a contrasting color to your main color that you're going to be using for your work, because you're going to be basically throwing this away. But you need this to begin. So go ahead and work 7 rows of your waste yarn. Okay, once you get to the beginning, then you're going to open your yarn carriage, put your tail to the left side of the black needle, which is the first one. Grab your working yarn that you're going to be using, and with a longer-ish tail, because you will be sewing that, go to the right of the black needle, put your yarn in the carriage, close the door, grab both of your tails and slowly crank it to make sure that it does catch on your needles. And at first I thought this yarn wasn't going to work and the Addi knitting machine wouldn't like it, but see, it's like getting caught. I'm thinking, oh no, is this not going to work? Yep, it worked. So it ends up being a beautiful project, and especially if you're using variegated colors, it is so pretty. I was so excited about doing this one. So in this headband, I work 90 rounds. So you have your 7 rounds with your waste yarn. Then I set my counter back to 0. And then I start with my main color and I do 90 rounds. And you can see and I haven't even gone that far, and the color looks amazing. Yeah, I'm super excited about this one. And luckily I have about 7 skeins of this, so I think I'm going to be making some scarves and hats and stuff out of this yarn. I love it. It is so soft. So once you start getting close to the bottom, you're going to want to roll your yarn so it doesn't rub up against your working surface. So just kind of roll it up, it'll stay. And keep cranking. On that round, I was around, I'd say, on row 50. So I still had another 40 to go. So just keep rolling it. And it kind of gravity takes over a little bit sometimes. So just pull it up and look at all the color changes. Pretty. And so just keep working it until you get to the end. And once you're done, you come around to your first black needle. Cut your main working yarn. Open your carriage. And your yarn will go to the left of your needle. And then now you have your second waist yarn. That tail goes in the center. Your yarn goes to the right of the black needle. Yarn goes into the carriage holder. Make sure that closes. Grab your tails, slowly crank to make sure they both catch. And then you're going to work 7 rounds of the waist yarn. So now when you come to your end, take your yarn out, close the carriage, and then just hold your yarn up, and you're going to go around once, and it takes the yarn off the needles, and you're going to go around one more time and it drops everything. Just like that. Now some yarn may get a little finicky and want to stay on and they don't want to drop, so you just come back around. The needle will come back up, and all you have to do is just take it off the needle. Just kind of drape it down like that. It just wants to stay there and it's not supposed to. Now we're ready to work our project. So once you have pulled it off, stretch it out lengthwise because it has been stretched widthwise, and so you want to stretch it lengthwise to work that yarn. Look how pretty those colors are. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to do a review of this yarn. So now what you want to do is you're going to sew up the sides, the ends I should say, of your tube. So we're going to create a flat closed end. So you find your tail, and you're kind of flatten it out as best as possible. And the reason you wanted the waist yarn as well, so you're not working with live yarn, and you want the contrasting color because once you start weaving it, you want to make sure that you can see it. So grab your crochet hook, and you're going to come to the end, and you can see your contrasting main color. Once you get that flattened out, go to the end, insert your hook in the yarn, and you're going to go to the side, and you're just going to grab the next working loop and pull it through. Alternating sides, you're going to come to the next side here. You're going to go under, grab that yarn, and pull it through. And you're going to work this all the way in. You don't want to miss any of your main working loops. Even if you think, oh, I don't know if I got that one, grab it anyway, because if you skip over it, it becomes working yarn or a live yarn and it'll unravel. So you want to make sure that you are grabbing the yarn that you're supposed to. Alternating both sides, you're going to work all the way down and it'll close it. Try not to grab any of your waist yarn, and because you don't want it to get tangled up in there. So just find your working yarn there and just pull it through. Alternating sides. And just keep working. One side sometimes, and I don't know what it is, one side's easier than the other. This one's giving me a little bit of a headache because the other side works like a charm. You'll see. So, but just keep working it. It's time consuming. It takes maybe between 7 to 10 minutes to work down a side. So once you get all the way down, you can see how it closed really nice. Grab your tail of your working yarn and just pull it through to secure it. And then now we're going to take the waste yarn off. Now this waste yarn was for the start, so you can't just pull it out. So a lot of times, and sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't, I cut the yarn all the way up. And if you can find that one long piece, sometimes it comes, you can just pull it and the whole thing just slides right off. This time it wasn't going to work for me, of course, because I was doing a video. So I just want to show you how difficult it can be. But if it doesn't pull out, which this one didn't, it did in the end when I turned the video off, you just pull it out. And a lot of times it just keeps pulling all the way around. Well, this one said nope. So just keep cutting it and working it, pulling each piece out. It's waste yarn. You're going to throw it away. It doesn't matter. The other side you can save, and you'll see why, because it just unravels. But this one is going in the bin. It's done. So yeah, just keep pulling your waste yarn out. It's normally not this difficult, but of course it's like, well, life happens, right? And once you get to the end, look at that magic. It's gone. So your end is closed up. It's seamed. Now we're going to do the other side. Same thing. So it's flattened. Kind of get your tail out so it doesn't get stuck in there. Kind of flatten it a little bit. Look at those colors. I still am in love. It just looks so fall and happy. So insert your crochet hook, grab the one side, pull it through, alternate, come to the other side, grab the working yarn, pull it through, and you're just going to alternate all the way down. This side was definitely working in my favor. And just close up the tube. What I like about this closure, it gives it a flat, it seams it flat. And so you can work with it if you're making a scarf, a blanket, or anything like that, that you can work with mattress stitch or whip stitch, and it's just fantastic. So go ahead and grab your tail, pull it through, and now we're going to take the waste yarn off. This is the side that is so much easier. Look at how it just pulls right through. And it's, I don't know, it's very satisfying when you just unravel and it's working as you want it to work. And just keep pulling off the waste yarn. All done. Look how nice that is. So now we want to sew our ends together to create the almost like a twisted knotted effect. Oh my gosh, the colors. I love these colors, and I like autumn colors. They're my favorite, and so I was not expecting it to be this pretty. I mean, I was expecting it to be pretty, but let's go ahead and get your yarn onto your tapestry needle. Set it aside, and we're going to fold up. Oh, I think I put the yarn on the wrong tail. You'll see. I got to switch it out here in just a second. That didn't work for me. You'll see, because you'll place that end inside. Yeah, let's take that off. Gone. Fold that over, make sure it's not twisted. And we're going to go ahead and put the yarn on that working side. And now we're going to seam it shut. And you're going to go through all 4 layers, back and forth and back and forth. You're going to work all the way down. Keep everything kind of straight and uniform. Move that tail out of the way. And you're going to come in through the back, work through all 4 layers to the front. And then you're just going to keep going back and forth from the front to the back. All 4 layers. And then from the back to the front. And you're just going to work this all the way. I don't know about you, but I like to watch people sew. It is relaxing, so I'm just going to be quiet for a minute, and maybe you could watch it and be relaxed too. And once you come through the very last one, we're going to weave in our second tail here. Just grab your crochet hook and pull it through. And we're just going to secure it by tying some knots. And you won't be able to see these knots when we're done because we'll flip it where this will be on the inside. And now grab your crochet hook, go in between the layers. So I'm in the top layer, so if you turn it over you can't see your crochet hook. I'm in between the layers. So I'm just going to grab the tails and pull them through. Again, it's through the layer so you can't see them. Cut this tail and then stretch it just a little bit so it hides it. Now we're going to flip it inside out. And just like that, it's like magic. Look at that. It's the little things that make me very happy. Not only did it knit perfectly, but the colors are just dazzling to me. I absolutely love it. Y'all, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I do upload regularly, and if you have any comments or you want to see something in a future episode, you can comment below or you can email me. It is in the description box. And I hope that you learned something new today. And until the next video, bye.